So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra Kaye, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner, still bald as ever, and he's still recovering from being a Democrat. Maybe one day he'll be in total, I don't know, remission or recovery. We'll see. Nevertheless, we are not live. This is our podcast where Donovan and I tend to talk about things like relationships or other things that are trending outside of politics. Of course, we'll be back later on to talk about politics. I have a subject that I think you guys will like, and I'll wait until that particular show takes place, which again is 5 p.m. Central Time today. So y'all stay tuned for that. Nevertheless, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also like to say if I sound like Snuffleupagus is because I am sick. I'm still sick, but I'm like, I can't keep canceling shows. I gotta, really get up. The sick me wants to be in bed with my hair sticking all over the place, and my daughter Snuggie that she loaned me. But the hustler me is like, get up, get to work. So as we speak, I have chills and all of that, but I'll be just fine. And so today we're going to talk about that of Draya Michelle and her baby daddy to be, I guess, Jalen Green. Very odd situation there, but is it odd? I don't know. We're going to get into that. We're also going to talk about Bishop Lamor Whitehead, who finally got a ruling on whether he's guilty or not for bilking a parishioner up out of her money. I actually covered that story on the African Diaspora News channel. And yeah, I'm not surprised that he was found guilty. So we'll talk about that and maybe another topic if we have the opportunity. But Donovan, what say you?
Well, welcome again to the Demetra K podcast, you guys. It's great to have you. You guys know what to do. Hit that button, hit that like button on the way in, even on the way out if you forgot. Don't forget, we have a scrolling down there at the bottom if you want to donate 100% of your donation to the content creator, which is Demetra K right over there. Also, do not forget to check out the African Diaspora News channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Google Store. You can also download it on the YouTube channel as well. Become a member, subscribe. Guess what? The Haitian Prime Minister resigned today. How did I find that out? African Diaspora News Channel app informed me what is actually going on down there in Haiti with the notorious barbecue. And I believe, Demetra, you're a guy in Africa. His name is Sweet Potato. These guys have these notorious names. Sweet Potato. Loved him from Demetra K in South Africa. So it's great to have you guys here. This is a great platform. We're glad to see you. We will be back a little bit later on with the live show. But Demetra, the Draya Michelle thing, there's a lot of people, especially the women, that think there is nothing wrong. Yes, girl, get that bag, do what you got to do, blah, 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 right? They're talking about, what's happening with that. Now, the Bishop Whitehead thing, I know you're a big supporter of Bishop Whitehead. The man is facing 45 years. He said he will appeal. We're going to get into that as well. Again, this is the bishop that got robbed on live internet stream. And matter of fact, one of the people that so-called robbed him was killed in a shootout with police not long ago. So one of the people that did that. So these things are connected. But Bishop Whitehead is a guy that they also said it has been influence peddling, saying that he can get access to Mayor Adams for $500,000 if you want to get access to him and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It's amazing in Black leadership how these things happen. So we're going to go into it. This is going to be an interesting topic. You guys leave your comments, suggestions, and things in the comments. We love to read those things, and we'll get back to you guys as we see some of your comments. So let's do it.
All right. So thank you, Donovan, for that. Oh, sorry. I am not trying to be coughing all up in y'all ears like that. I'll try not to do that. All right. So this beautiful lady here is what we are calling, or who we are calling, I should say, Draya Michelle. Draya Michelle, I looked on the simplest thing I can look on, and that was Wikipedia, because usually they have the details about people. There wasn't really a lot of details about her other than...
I'm going to cut you off real quick. What is her superpower besides the power of the P? What is her superpower? Did you find anything?
Well, she's beautiful. Come on now. Y'all know y'all like a good red bone with some good hair. Come on, let's not act brand new on this, okay? Y'all
know I like them dark. So
yeah, it is superpower. But I seen you with something that look like her too, brother. Don't lie to kicking now. Don't lie on this Good Tuesday to these folks. Anyway,
it was closing time at the bar, but go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna just pretend like that is true. Nevertheless, I looked and I didn't see a whole lot. It says that she's an actress, a model. Sounds like she was on Basketball Wives. She was on the first season of that. Basketball Wives, is the creation of
Basketball Wives LA.
Shawnee O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal's ex-wife, where they would have, I guess, women who were supposed to be married to basketball players, but they weren't. Doesn't sound like she was with a football player. So I don't even know how she got on basketball player. But nevertheless, Draya Michelle is 39 years old. She has 2 children, one on the way. That woman had given her 3 baby daddies. One child is by a man, I think his name's Kenzo. Nobody really knows a lot about him. It sounds like he did a 10-year stint in prison. When she was 17 is when she had her first child.
Yeah, she was young, yeah.
Yeah, so when she was her first child, 17, he went away for 10 years, and now sounds like he's an upstanding citizen. He's a barber somewhere minding his business, okay? That's the oldest child, father. The second one is Orlando Scandrick, and he
Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, he was drafted in 2008, 5th round draft pick, 2008 for the Cowboys. So that is her second child's baby daddy. And now she is with Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets, who I think he's 21, 22 years old. Again, she is 39 and she's expecting a baby by him. I think maybe it's a girl. She made an announcement and all that because people were speculating they saw her with a baby bump or something like it. Speculating like, oh my God, I know damn well this old lady didn't get knocked up by this kid. And then she came out with a post saying, yes, she indeed is expecting and this, that, the other. Of course, it was a lot of mixed reactions. But just delving a little bit further into Draya Michelle. Now, listen, I don't know a whole lot about Draya Michelle at all. I've heard her names here and there. I don't really delve into pop culture that way. But my daughter was filling me in, and she actually sent me some stuff that I kind of just want to go over. Very interesting. It's going to give context to why we're having this conversation. So, I was a couple of years back. She made this post, and this is what the post said regarding her son. Nico. Nico, I think it is. Nico is the name of the son, and the father's Nico Sr. Okay. She says, let's discuss this. Nico has this 4-minute speech he has to memorize and recite. Fine, splendid. Now his teacher is requiring me to sign papers every day saying he's read that speech 5 times out loud and stuff. Over Thanksgiving break, I had to sign 18 times, and now it's still every day. Here's my point. I'm all for helping my child with his homework, but at this point, she has him harassing me with this speech. I don't want to hear no more. I'm hearing it 2 times a day for a month straight. I'm finna memorize it. Not to mention the topic is about how American history isn't present as much in college education. So you can imagine what a snooze this thing is. Last night, he asked me to sign, and I said, no. Tell your teacher I'm done with this. And now today, he doesn't get points because I don't want to sign it. It's not my damn homework, but it feels like it. What y'all think? So, of course, sound like people dragged her to hell. And then she comes back and says, she responded to somebody. She says, I'm not annoyed of signing. I'm annoyed of him feeling the need to read it to me every day. So, of course, people deemed her to be a horrible parent. You guys forgive me. I got a cold, so forgive me, y'all. Deemed her to be a horrible parent in that way. All right. Moving right along. So she used to be the girlfriend of Chris Brown. Okay. And this was like, I think 2011. Okay. This article says Chris Brown's ex Draya Michelle arrested for child endangerment. Okay. So it says this is where it was in Pennsylvania. A 7-year-old Wyoming boy was coming home from school to an empty apartment and spending nights alone while his mother worked in Philadelphia. Borough police said Friday. The boy told police that he would get off the bus most days and wait for someone to leave or enter the gated parking garage under the apartment complex in 100 block of North Park Road so he could get into the building. His mother, Andrea M. Howard, 25, would leave the apartment door unlocked and microwave dinners in the freezer for him, they said. Police arrested Howard at the apartment Thursday night on a charge of endangering the welfare of a child. She remained free on a $25,000 bail arraignment before a district judge, blah, blah, blah. Says a policeman found the boy alone in a disheveled apartment December 16th about 2 a.m. after the boy called 911 and told dispatchers he was home alone. He told patrolman Kevin M. Quinter that he called his mother's cell phone about 20 times to find out where she was. He last spoke to her when he called her after getting off the bus. She said she was at a tanning salon and would be home soon. The apartment looked like it had been ransacked with women's undergarments scattered throughout the living room. A small dog was in a cage, and dog feces and urine was in several places in the apartment. While Quinter talked to the boy, the youth got a TV dinner from the freezer, stood on the counter, and put it into the microwave. Police called the boy's grandmother, who took him home. She said she had been watching her grandson while Howard went to her job overnight in Philadelphia, but she had not been babysitting the boy for a few months. Howard, who says she worked as a model, returned home about 8:45 a.m. the next day. Okay. Uh, and and the police told her that her son was in the care of county children and youth services while they investigated. Police did not know the status of the child Friday. They charged Howard on December 30th, but did not immediately arrest her because she agreed to surrender to Shepherd Derricks. When she did, police went to the apartment to arrest her. Okay, now these are known facts about her. Okay, they said she was dating Chris Brown, I guess, at the time, and that's how most people, I guess, got to know her. I don't really know of her at all. Nevertheless, she's a model, and they also said that she has owned or owned several clothing businesses. I don't know if that's still true, but she was a Fenty Savage model, and that's Rihanna's creation. Fenty is doing well. Obviously, Rihanna's a billionaire, I think 2 times over now. But she got fired from being the model because she was on a podcast, and I will play it, but it's got some things in there I probably shouldn't say. But she was asked, I guess they're talking about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, and she says that's the kind of love I want when a person would you in the foot. That's love, right? That's the kind of love I want. So Rihanna was like, yeah, no, you can't work here talking like that. So, with all that being said, does not sound like she has a track record of being a wonderful person. Now, let's move this quickly along to who she's with now, Jalen Green, who's a child, essentially. I know he's 21, 22, but to us, he's a child, right? He's too young to be with a woman who is 39, essentially almost 40, and be having a baby with her. Okay? Now, I've seen mixed reactions online from women saying, well, what's the problem? Y'all men don't have a problem with it. And I've seen some women say she better be happy I ain't his mama. Because if I was his mama, it'd be a whole different story, right? So, Donovan, with all I just told you about her, and the big point of contention now is that she's with a 21-year-old, 22, and she's getting ready to bear his child. What is your opinion about all of this?
You really want my opinion?
Sure.
You really want my opinion? Okay, I'm gonna give you my opinion. Number one, this is ludicrous. This is ludicrous. I get so tired of you women always talking about you can do what men can do. No, you can't. We are not equal beasts. The system has been created. You cannot do what we do. A woman that has a high body count isn't the same as when a man has a high body count. Is it fair? Is it right? No. That is how society puts it. That's just how you're looked upon. Women are looked upon away. Ladies, I got a question for you. Would you as a mom accept your son in a relationship with a woman that is the same age as you? Most of you wouldn't even accept that. That would be totally unacceptable. It's sickening. Now, let's say this. When I was 18 in the military, I dated briefly a woman that was 38. Taught me a lot, okay? But I didn't have a baby with her. This woman, Draya, is having a child with a boy that is a few months either older or younger than her very own son. Yes, they're adults, legally, whatever the deal is, but is it right? Is it morally right? At 39 years old, and he's 21, why? The question should be, why is it that she went for a younger man versus an older man. Do you ladies want to know why? It's probably the same exact reason men go for younger women. He's least experienced in life. She can get over with a lot of stuff with him and guide him and move him the way you want to move him. When I was in the military, I dated a woman that was 4 to 5 years older than me. Most of my wives, and I've been married twice. Well, one of them was 4 years older than me. Most of the women I dated were at least 4 years older than me. Did that for the experience, and the more they had a little bit more knowledge and stuff like that. But most of us, within a 4 or 5 year age gap ahead or behind you, that's within reason. That's reasonable type stuff. But you got to put it like this: when this man is 40, how old is Draya Michelle going to be?
I mean, she's going to be almost 20 years older. So what? Because she's
She's
almost
40
20.
now. She's almost
Yeah.
40 now.
Yeah. So she's 18 years older than he is.
So when he's 40, she's going to be 60. How long do you think that really? Let's say they happen to be in love and they're going to fall in love, whatever. He's 40 years old, right? In the prime of a man, right? Coming into his strongest. His NBA career would be long gone by then. But the point is, he's still, still a viable man, business wise, whatever, right? Do you think a 40-year-old man wants to deal with a 60-year-old woman at 40 years old?
I mean, he
And then,
might.
and then when he gets older, he realizes, oh man, this woman, gave me a baby at a young age, and I'm just coming into the world. There's a resentment, whatever. The point of the fact of the matter is, lady, she secured a bag for her child. Possibly true. And of course, we all know women. There's a lot of women out there that take child support for themselves. That's only going to last 18 to 20 years. Then the guy's going to be off the hook. But guess what? That relationship between the two, and look at her track record, because by the way, she was engaged to a Dallas Cowboy dude that had money. That relationship didn't work out. She has a track record for some reason of relationships not working out. She dated Chris Brown. Didn't work out. Do you think a relationship with a young man that is coming into his own, because eventually he is going to mature and be around older guys going to tell him whatever, that are going to boss him, and do you think she's going to be able to boss this man as he gets older? No, there's going to be problems with it. This relationship is not going to last, in my opinion, plus the public scrutiny that she's getting right now. So again, ladies, I know you guys think in your deluded and delusional minds that men and women can do the exact same thing. We can't. Men cannot produce babies. We can't do that. Women do not have upper body strength like men. We don't have that. That's why you're having problems in trans sports when these trans gender people are now moving into female sports. Notice that the transgender people don't want to stay in the male sports. They want to go to the female sports. We can't do the same things. You guys have got to accept that. God made you female. God made me male. It is the way it is. Play with the uniform you were issued, period.
Yeah, I mean, I agree to a lot of that, but whoring is whoring and it's nasty no matter who does it. It's inappropriate no matter who does it. Now, maybe inappropriate is maybe a stronger word because at the end of the day, they're both adults, but I surely wouldn't want no 40-year-old broad um, get knocked up by my son, who is, assuming Jalen is worth millions, right? He's got a little bit more money than she does. It looks like her net worth is $600,000. So, I mean, something, I guess, in a larger scheme of things, but is it what he has? I don't know. Sounds like he's got, he's got it going on. I'll look and see what his net worth is in just a second. So yes, it definitely makes you raise an eyebrow to see such an older woman. He's a kid. I mean, even looking at him, the kid got acne all on his face. I mean, that's what kids do, right? It just she's like you said, she's got a son that's his age. Her oldest son is his age, and so are you gonna get married to this kid, or like what are you gonna do? You're just popping out babies, and so on International Women's Day, which was the other day, she posted this, and that's when she announced and showed these pregnancy pictures. Y'all can go look it up if you want. It says, as women, we navigate through so much, often leading us to question, what is my purpose? For me, the magic lies in motherhood and the awe-inspiring ability to bring life into this world over the span of 2 decades is my superpower. And if anything can surpass the wonder of being a woman, it's the privilege of bringing another woman into existence. We are overjoyed to share our love for our little for you, a little girl. I'm excited to speak words to the daughter I never thought I'd have. We are anxious about your arrival, but take your time. This world can be tough, but know you are being brought into a space of love, security, and adornment. So she's 28 weeks, 7 months, coming May of this year. So she's a girl mom. All right, whatever. Um, and so when I read something like that, I'm like, but that's cute. Yes, womanhood, motherhood is one of listen, no, nothing compares. I don't care what nobody says, okay? A man could give a woman a baby, but he does not know what it's like to push a human out of such a small little place in life, okay? So with that being said, I concede all that stuff she's saying, but what else are you gonna tell your daughter? You don't think one day she gonna learn about you, Drea, and that you got three baby daddies, and her daddy is essentially 18 years younger than you. He was a kid coming into the world. And trust me, I ain't trying to be Demetra, Nostradamus. That's what sometimes people call me. But I don't see that relationship making it, because what commonality do you have? You don't have anything in common. As a 21, 22-year-old, I don't know how old the kid is. He should be doing what 22-year-olds do, right? He's got all this money. He's out and he's, doing stuff that they're doing. He shouldn't be saddled down with an old bag. Now, it's 40, 39 old, but no, but it's to him, it's old. It is old, right? Like,
Seasoned. Seasoned is the word. Seasoned.
Old bag is what she is, because that's what I would call her. If my son brought her home and said, "Hey, mom, she in the family way," I'm like, "Who family way she in?" You know what I'm saying? Now, if I was his parents and him, because they're not gonna work out. Y'all can quote me on this. They're not gonna work. If I was his parents, I would rope a dope and pencil whip that heifer. And what I would do is I would petition full custody of that child and make her ass run me child support. Because for one, you're much older. You ain't new to the rodeo. Plus, you got some parenting issues in the past or whatever. So I don't really trust you with my child all by yourself like that. That's what I would try to do. If I was his people, again, I don't think they're gonna work out. But are you gonna tell your daughter of how she came into the world? You basically use and abuse. I don't care what nobody said. Get mad at your mama, okay? Use and abuse a child to get what you want. Like, as beautiful as she is, there wasn't a whole bunch of other older men your age or close to it that you could be with. What you saw was cha-ching, cha-ching. You saw dollar signs. You saw dollar signs as a little kid. You saw him being gullible. And I want to know is, damn it, this is me, the sick me. The well me ain't gonna be the spicy, okay? What I want to know is, where was his parents when he and I'm gonna say he was being treated like a trampoline, but a tramp? Where was his parents at? Like, what kind of influence do they have? Your 22-year-old kid is involved with this strumpet, and where your daddy at? He don't say, no, that's a loose woman. That woman is trouble. Hey, son, you got a lot of money. We want you to keep it for a lot of your life, but getting involved with loose women like that, you're gonna end up paying her a bag and child support and all this other stuff because she ain't hooking up with you. Okay, just let's do some math here. If Jalen Green was Jalen working at Amazon warehouse Green, would Draya Michelle find him attractive? Would she say, ooh, I just want to procreate with you and have all these babies? No, it had to been Jalen Green, the NBA Houston Rockets superstar. Come on, let's not be silly here, right? So what the question I really have out of all of this is, where was his parents to instill some wisdom, common sense, and say to your son, before you treat her like a trampoline, what's behind the booty? Now, you could have Googled her and you got all the answers you needed, so there is no excuse.
He didn't need to Google her. All you got to do is ask around. They would have told her about her. You don't need to Google anybody.
And I've heard some horror stories from other, it's Gilbert Arenas, and somebody else was telling a story about how she was in a car with a bunch of people and doing some favors on him in the back seat with everybody in the car.
You don't have to Google it. I mean, you're in that realm where these, the groupies are around. People already know that. Now, you brought up a point about where's his parents. Unfortunately, you got to take into account he's on a rookie contract right now because he's only 21 years old. 22, whatever. He's a young guy. He's on a rookie contract, so he's not making a lot of money initially. But that second contract is going to be banger if he doesn't get hurt or whatever the situation is, right? Fine. Unfortunately, in our community, we have a lot of young men like this young man. Like I said, maybe his parents are together, maybe they're not, I don't know. But I'm just going to assume, because of the prevalency of single motherhood leading families in our community, that's the environment that we're used to. Pop is not around. Like a good example, Shaq. His real dad wasn't around, but he had a strong stepdad, which is great. Which is another point about having fathers in these young men's lives, because a father would have told him what to expect as he walks upon manhood, and going into the NBA and doing all these things. But here's the thing, ladies, and I'm going to tell you this. The one girl I was in love with while I was in the military, she was 25. I met her. I was 21. I was so young, she had to check my ID. Okay. Seriously, we were at a function on the base. She was like, "Oh, I got to see your ID." She was introduced to me by my uncle, whatever, at this function. So we started hooking up, whatever deals, hitting it off and stuff. I'm kind of intimidated because she's an older woman. This one's 25. I'm like 21. And my mom comes to visit. So I wanted to introduce my mom to this girl, right? Hey, mom, this girl, oh, she's, everything, she's, telling me to do this, telling me to do that. Again, this is the same woman that sat my feet upon the path of knowledge. And I still give her praise to this very day, even though we did not work out. We're still friends, but, whatever. My mom met this woman. My mom was here for a week or something. You know how you spend time with your mom, and you kind of do things together. You have dinner together. My mom and her talk behind my back with my aunt. They all doing their thing, whatever. Whatever the woman thing is. So my girl goes back home after a week, and my mom's getting ready to go. Me and my mom sit down and we have a talk. Long story short, my mother sits down and tells me, "What are you doing with that woman?" I did not understand what my mom meant. I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "What are you doing with that woman?" What my mom was inferring was my immaturity is not on her level. And she was only 4 years older than me. But my immaturity was not on the level that this woman was. I was out of my league. Everybody was telling me that. "Oh, you're out of your league. Oh, she's going to do this. She wants to do this." And she was all telling me to be a lawyer, pushing me. I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Being the young, dumb Negro I was. "No, I'm good. I'm cool." But things like this, ladies, and I'm going to address this to the ladies. Demetra usually addresses things to the ladies and to the men, but I like to address things to the ladies. This is why you should bring those Negroes around your uncles, your daddy, your granddaddy, maybe your male best friend, and they're going to tell you the truth about what that dude is about. Now, my mom didn't hate on this girl. My mom was like, if anything, I was going to do her harm and bring her down versus anything else because of my immaturity. But luckily, I was a good follower, and I learned, and I eventually did what this woman wanted me to do. That bettered me. It bettered me. But in Draya Michelle's situation, ladies, again, the question is this. I know y'all hyenas out there are big up in this, and oh yeah, girl, get the bag. Is this what you're teaching the daughters? And then you wonder why men are like, "No, we're done. We're not dealing with this, whatever the deal." Is this what you teach the daughters? To objectify themselves and put themselves out there to be nothing more than a trampoline to men? And then you guys complain about it. And then if you have sons, it's amazing to me that those of you that have sons have no problem with Draya Michelle getting the bag as long as it isn't your son. If that happened to your son, "Oh, girl, I'm going to fight. I'm going to do it." No, ain't no way. When it happens to your son, the child support laws, oh, there's no problem with child support laws unless it happens to your son, your brother, somebody that you love. Then it's a problem. We really got to rearrange our thinking and how we need to do these things. I'm with you, Demetra. This relationship is not going to last. And again, the question, ladies, is, as beautiful as Draya Michelle is, and she's a beautiful woman, why is it that you think she could not attract a man her age or older? You want to know why? Because they already know her track record. That's why.
And I think she saw a sucker and she licked him. That's all that was. Is a young kid. She's beautiful and she's been around a little bit longer in life and she know what to say and just how to, bat her eyebrows or her eyelashes.
Wait,
And
wait, wait, wait. And I'm going to cut you off real quick. What is a 39-year-old woman ending up getting pregnant? That's what I don't understand. All
what
this
do you
birth
mean?
control out here. How did she end up getting pregnant? Well, we know in out. We know that. What I'm saying is, if this wasn't a plotted plan, if an older seasoned woman knows, yeah, I understand that part. A seasoned woman knows birth control. They know what they're doing. You know how to do that. Demetra, I'm not saying because
What grade did you take biology?
I think it was street science 202.
I mean, we all took it somewhere in high
Yeah,
school, maybe
right,
junior high, you know?
right. No, we don't have to do it. But what I'm saying is, it's like me being a man. I'm not going to go out here willy nilly raw dogging sex on a woman because number one, I don't want any more children. Number one, I don't want
But
more.
I mean, yeah, but to your point, yeah, when you connect the dots, you can try, end up starting a baby. That's not difficult to understand. But Jalen, he's worth $6 million now, and sounds like for this next upcoming season he'll get 10 more million. So he's on the path of gaining wealth. Maybe not, but there's a lot of men out there walking around that ain't got a percentage of what he got, dropping
And getting
babies.
more panties than the law allows.
Well, not even that. They're creating babies and getting put on child support, talking about why I ain't got it. You wasn't saying all that when you was getting it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think at that point it's for everybody to decide. Do I want to procreate with this person? If the answer is no, see, I'm not gonna be with nobody I can see I can't procreate, okay? Because it's just that I'm out of that realm of life, okay? But I'm not gonna be with nobody I couldn't see procreating with. But people do it and think, oh, I can't get them pregnant or whatever. And then when they get pregnant, I mean, hell, you dipping your dipstick into the oil with nothing on it. Eventually, you may get caught up in one way or the other. And so he's a kid, but he still should have been responsible in protecting what's his, because trust me, she ain't gonna let him go if they don't make it and say, oh, well, I don't need no child support from you. Nah, because you was with him in the first. See, as a woman, 52-year-old woman or a 39-year-old woman, there's things you can do to not get pregnant. Because at the end of the day, as they say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, you're going to be saddled down with the child while the man is out there getting his kicks on and hopping up and down on other trampolines out there, right? So it was, I don't know, it's just a lot going on there. But for lack of better words, I think he's in for a hell of a ride with her. She knew what she was doing.
Exactly. This is a serious life lesson that, again, we have this notion, especially in the Black community, it ain't going to happen to me. It happened to him, but it ain't going to happen to me. I'm not going to get caught up. And yet this story repeats itself over and over again. You see the young girls dealing with the thug dudes out there, the Ray Rays and the Pookies and the Nook Nooks. And, and they know these guys aren't good for them, but yet they are attracted to those guys. Us guys are attracted to the pretty big booty type chick.
Yeah, I'm about to say
every time.
And it's not just our community. People getting caught up in every community, right? We talk about ours. There'll be every community, and it goes both ways. Like you said, that's why men are done with women. Hell, there's a lot of women done with men too. And they, because y'all running around here with no halos on, doing each and everything y'all supposed to be doing as men, As my dad said, shoot, there's a lot of y'all who ain't fit to walk amongst men, but somehow you think you are. You got the internet and gas.
What do I want from me? I got 12 degrees. I have a nice career. I have a retirement. I own my home. I own my cars. I'm not in debt. What more do I need to do?
I'm just saying, but the internet has told men, all you the prize. It's your special time of the month. You just need some daisies and some Massengill to make you feel fresh. You know what I'm saying? That the internet have told men, you the prize. She needs to carry you over the threshold and treat you like the queen. That's what we got going on there. So, as my dad has said, obviously he's a Nation of Islam for all of his life. And they say in the nation, a lot of men don't know what it is to be with a woman. A lot of men think all I got to do lay it down, lay some pipe for 2 minutes, and gas her head up with all this, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, oh, I'm so wonderful. But then none of that stuff comes out in the wash. She's like, okay, man, shut up. I hear what you're saying, but what can you do? You ain't did nothing and nothing close to it. All that lip service you got, you have not matched up to anything. Like I haven't seen you materialize nothing. What can you do? Are you good with your hands other than the 2 minutes we in the bed? Can you build something? Can you deconstruct something? Can you build it back up? Are you industrious? Are you a go-getter? Do you like taking a little bit of risk? I'm not telling you to go, risk all your retirement, but what is it you like to do? Are you adventurous? Do you like to travel? Or do you just stuck in your own little circle of, I'm good, I don't want to do that? Are you a chicken McNugget Negro? All you want to do when you go to the big boys restaurant where you can order steak, lobster. I don't eat lobster, but I'm just saying, for example, steak, lobster, some, chicken, a cordon bleu, and all that. You go right to the kids menu and get chicken nuggets and fries. You know what I'm saying? So while, and I listen, I just listen. This is the NyQuil me, okay? But yes, women got a lot of issues. As I said, I am all woman, boo-boo. I know all about the women's. I know the issues we have. But I think we need to give the men a little bit more attention, because what happens is some of those men get out there thinking more of themselves than they ought to, thinking all I got to do is pretend that I'm this, that, and the other. And then when a woman see you ain't shit, then the rubber hit the road, then it's not what you're looking for. Like, and this is what I always say too about the internet for men and women. Stop lying to kick it. It's okay if you don't drive a Ferrari. I would imagine only a small percentage of people in the world drive Ferraris. But don't post a car in your cover photo that ain't yours and you telling people it's yours. If you don't live in a 10-bedroom house, it's okay. If you live in the hood and 2-bedroom, whatever the bathroom, it's fine. Say all of that. It's all right if you average. Okay? The problem is you're lying, pretending that you're more than average. And the other part is a sin, is that you average and you don't have to be. You are settling for being average and you are comfortable and you're expecting everybody else to be with you in comfort. And I'm going to say this to you men. Y'all say what you want about this, and I'm going to shut up. Stop getting with these women that are not average like you and try to bring them down to Averageville, especially when those women are trying to level you up. Hey, how about this? Nah, I'm good. Because guess what? You're going to be good without that woman, because she going to realize, oh, hell no, sucker. You're not going to bring me down to being average because you afraid to fly. Fly. Spread your wings and fly. But if you cannot do that, go get you a woman that is just cool with surviving from the day to day. We gonna eat today? Yeah, we gonna eat today. What about tomorrow? I don't know about tomorrow. We won't work on that. Get you a woman who cool with all of that. But don't get you a woman who was like, hey, I'm shaking and moving, sucker. And if you can't shake and move together with me, then shake and move your ass up out my life.
Well, I'm glad you said that. You said a mouthful there, my friend. You said a mouthful there, my friend. I will say this. I will agree. You are what you are. Ladies, stop saying you got it together, whatever, and you're on government assistance. That is a government house. That is not your house. Stop putting down men that are still living at home with their parents, because right now in this economy, that's a smart thing to do. Even if women that are living at home with their parents, that's a smart thing to do. But like you said, let's be real. That is not your house. You're on a government assistance. So how are you sitting out there talking about these dusty men out here? To me and to a lot of men, you're dusty because you're not out here getting it on your own like you're supposed to, called adulting. You're living off the government, and so on, so forth. So, again, I'm with you. Be real about what is going on. If you're going to be a government assistance type chick and you're on the, like you said, you're on the gram. Is that what they call it, the gram? You're on the gram, and you're living this luxury life. Oh, you're on the cruise. You're doing this. Ooh, look, you got this outfit on. You're doing this, whatever. And you're living in Hoboken, Backwood, Mississippi. I mean, come on. be real about what's going on. But for me, and I'm just going to say this, I put a lot of the emphasis on the men. Men, start leading your communities. Start leading your families. Ladies, stop complaining about the very men you are raising that are kind of zesty and soft. You guys are the ones raising them. We can't go back to my generation. We're the last generation that, luckily, some of us had our parents that were intact. They might not have lasted, but they were married. We've got almost 3 generations of young men that have now been raised by single family mothers, homes, and you guys are raising men with feminine qualities. Stop it. Stop it. And I don't want to hear about a woman can't raise a man. No, we know that. We know that. Go surround your sons with positive men. That's all you got to do. Boys club, 4-H club, whatever it is, mentoring programs, whatever it is, surround them with positive men. Or is it the fact that you guys don't know what positive men are because you're so used to dating Ray, Nook, and everybody else? The very men that you guys are complaining about that your daughters have to date now are the men that were raised by these type of women. Now, where are the fathers? Hey, maybe they're in jail. Maybe they're this, that. But the point, my point is this. That is still no excuse to raise a horrible human being because you know what it is that you want in a man. You should instill that in your son.
Yeah, and those women in those government houses, they got a man up in there with them rolling around on those pissy stain, weed infused spring busting through the mattress bed sets too. They got a man up in there who see that she, living below the poverty line and he right there with her, ain't trying to do nothing better, ain't trying to level up. He right there, I've always been taught that when you get with a man or even a woman, my dad always says people, if we're in a special relationship, we should be assets, not deficits, right? We shouldn't be taken away from each other. But unfortunately, people get with people, and I think mostly the intentions are good. And but the other person may be a deficit, is taken away. You might be taking away resources like finances. You might be taking away, energy, emotions, and just, it's a lot, and people don't understand when you are a thief. When I say a thief, you're a thief of energy, money, other time, and stuff like that. It's draining on the other person. And so, yeah, I agree that government house is not necessarily theirs. But the other thing too is, Donovan, a lot of those women, unfortunately, have introduced their sons to Uncle Ray Ray. Oh, this Uncle Pookie. What happened to Uncle Ray Ray, Mom? Now, don't worry about Uncle Ray Ray. This is Uncle Pookie now. Oh, this is Uncle Mike. Oh, this is so you introducing all these uncles that ain't they not fit to walk amongst men. But you bringing those people, those dudes around your sons, and those dudes ain't trying to be role models. And I say this to you women all the time. God damn it, that's the NyQuil. Stop messing with these funk ass men that don't want nothing to do with your child. They may not tell you that, but you can sense when a man is just there for
Most
you.
men do not want to raise another man's child. That's fact.
Don't be with a man or woman that got other children. That's the that I don't understand. But I get it. You think because you got that 2 minutes of fun, this little something going on about you, that woman gonna negate her child for you, sucker. What do you got going on that I would put my child on the back burner for you? For one, are you imposing marriage on me? No, you ain't trying to get married, so I'm supposed to negate my child, whether it's grown or it's not. For you, what is so wonderful about you? But the problem with that is you got a lot of women that's so desperate for a man that you'll bring that sucker in your house and he treating your kids any and every kind of way, and that child consents whether that man is there for them or not. But that's the package deal. So, men, if you ain't trying to be with a woman to be the whole package deal thing, then leave that woman alone. You don't even try to see her as an opportunity for some quick ass. Because I've heard men say that, oh, a woman with a lot of kids, that means she got some good, kitty cat or whatever. It's like, you a fool. So she got some good kitty cat. She got a lot of kids. You trying to be the next baby daddy? All because it's like they say, like with drug addicts, right? When they find out somebody overdose, where they get it at? Because they said the overdosing is like it's supposed to be the next level of the best high you can ever get. So they want to know where they got it from so they can partake in it. So it's like you
Yeah,
see,
it's like they're fentanyl in the drug system now. And everything's that's now the rage. Now that's in the drug system altogether.
yeah. So you see a woman with all those kids, and you want to know how good it feel like. Well, that must be a good ride there. I'm gonna try it out, dummy, stupid. That's the NyQuil speaking. Okay, I think I like this version of me. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get
Yes,
some complaints.
but in conclusion, again, we're not going to make it if we keep up with this foolishness. We've got to rebuild the black family. So I put a lot of onus on the men. Start being leaders. I don't care how much this woman is yang 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 in your mouth. Stand up, say what you say, mean what you say, do what you say, and everything will work out. In the end, it will work out. She will follow. She will follow.
And what happened to the men? And I'm not even putting this on men, but you see a wayward woman and she like, hey, I just want to have a good time with you. I'm just trying to. Then you go in her house and it ain't up to par. She may be, toking on some weed. You don't like that or whatever the case is. What happened to the men that say, hey, baby, you fine and everything, but I'm going to pass on that? Why? Why, sugar? Why you ain't going to? Because I'm not saying you ain't for some man. You just ain't for this man. Okay? I like my woman that keep a house clean. I like my woman who ain't drugged up, feel like she need to be high to have a good time. I like my woman with a little bit more sense. No shade to you. I'm sure there's a man or two that will, come in my steed, that it will be right behind me. But and the same thing for women. If it's a man that's not to your liking, you need to let him know we ain't gonna make it. Cause you A, B, C, D, D.
how many relationships have I let go? And it was hard for me to let it go, but I had to let it go because it wasn't advantageous to me.
You let go of relationships when they are not advantageous to you. You let go of relationships when you find yourself shrinking and becoming less than who you were. Especially if you were a good person, you were thriving, you were outgoing, you're happy, and then you get with somebody and it's just like, I'm fat now
And you
because
saw me going through it. You saw me
yeah.
going through it.
I mean, I'm just saying we've all been with somebody who was just, I don't want to say they robbed us of life because it was our choice to stay, but we've all been with somebody who just made us shrink and be less than, walking on eggshells because you don't want to make them mad because they always mad about something. I don't care what it is, time of day, the color of the trees in autumn. They mad about something, right? And
They,
then you find
they're
yourself
lack.
walking on
Mm-hmm.
eggshells, trying to, okay, let me make life better for you. But then you're nervous wreck because you don't know when they're gonna, explode and have a moment, and then you're gonna try. Nah, that ain't your relationship. That person needs to go get themselves together. If it's you I'm speaking to, listen very good. Go get yourself together, work on self before you go and destroy another person. Because there's some people out there with the weird thought and be like, sucker, your ass gotta go. You are a energy thief, and I have no more energy to give you. Period. So anyway, let's get on to the next subject of our dear Bishop Lamor Whitehead. I think people said it was Lamar. Nevertheless, he in a lot of trouble. Okay, he's in a lot of trouble. So let me go ahead and give you guys the details of this wonderful guy, pun intended. Yay. So this is from the AP, Associated Press. Brooklyn preacher known for flashy lifestyles found guilty of wire fraud and attempt of extortion. Says a Brooklyn preacher known for his flashy lifestyle who boasted on his friendship with New York City mayor was found guilty in federal court Monday on the feds. Okay, when the feds get you, okay, on Monday of wire fraud, attempt extortion, and lying to the FBI. Lamor Miller Whitehead, 47, was found guilty of 5 counts after a trial in federal court in Manhattan that began late last month. Prosecutors had argued that the preacher exaggerated his ties to Mayor Eric Adams and let greed overtake him as he looted a parishioner's retirement savings and tried to extort a businessman to fuel his lavish lifestyle. He also was accused of lying to FBI agents by denying he had a second cell phone. An attorney for Miller Whitehead, Dawn Florio, said they are appealing the verdict. She had told jurors during the trial that the evidence against her client did not support the charges. Miller Whitehead made headlines in July when his armed bandits came crashing to church services and robbed him of $1 million of jewelry on him and his wife. They got, stuck up for their riches on live during church. It says the preacher embraced his flashy lifestyle. He is known for driving around in his Rolls Royce and records show how he lived in a $1.6 million home in Paramus, New Jersey. He also owned an apartment building in Hartford, Connecticut. Prosecutors allege Miller and Whitehead built a parishioner out of $90,000 in retirement savings by falsely promising he would find her a home and invest the rest in his real estate business. Prosecutors say instead, he spent the money on luxury goods and clothing. He was also accused of trying to convince a businessman to lend him $500,000 and give him a stake in real estate deals by claiming his ties to city officials could earn favorable treatment for the businessman interest. And lastly, it says Adams, that's the mayor, grew close to Miller Whitehead while serving as Brooklyn's borough president. Adams, a former police captain, has since said he spent decades enforcing the law and expects everyone to follow it. He shall be sentenced on July 1st, and it sounds like he could be seeing about 45 years. Now, mind you, that lady who, and I covered the story, loaning him the money was an older woman. It was a retirement. And he was supposed to be finding her a home because he said that he had a real estate company and all of that. And, she kept on asking him. And actually, her son, I think it was her son that went to the church or something like that. And the son, this reason why she did it, because she's like, okay, son, if you know him, then I believe he's got some credibility. And then they kept on trying to get the money from him, and he kept on ignoring him. They went to his house, putting notices on the house. And then one time they went to the house somewhere in New Jersey, I think it was, they saw it was a foreclosure notice on his house. So he would just flat out ignoring the woman as a sister, her request for, hey, I need my $90,000 back. I thought I was getting a home to retire in, and you done ran off the plug with my money. And so I'm not surprised. 45 years, some would say, is a lot. But how long did it take that lady to amass $90,000? And hopefully it wasn't all of her money, but she had to work, I'm sure, quite a bit to amass some of that money. And people are thinking 45 years is a lot. I don't know. I think it's subjective.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because how they ended up doing this because, again, scammer, one of the original scammers. Again, this is why people look at the church as a scam. And, a lot of black men have left the church and stuff. It's a big scam. And women, for some reason, ladies, and I know you guys hate to hear this, but again, there's something in your DNA and the way you guys are constructed to where you guys cannot decipher like a finesse or a lie, because it happens to women over and over again, right? So, I think in this deal, if I remember right, in this deal, she gives him the money, and he was supposed to like give her $100 back or something every month or something, so that she can kind of live off of it, or something was going on. But even that, if you would think about that, who the hell can live off $100 in the New York area, in the state of New York? Who can live off $100? Seriously, how is that going to be a good deal? And then, I'm not a real estate person, but I know you don't get a house, you buy a house today and you move in tomorrow. That's very rare in a situation like that. You're looking at a couple months, before everything clears and everything's good to go, then you make your move. But again, we love to roach on each other. We love to prey on each other and play these scams and these games. And, here's a guy that has no track record of a financial guru and all this other stuff. And we don't do our homework. We just word of mouth. Oh, this guy. And the sad thing is, there are even people that knew that this guy was a scammer and said nothing, did not warn it. The worst thing you can do in a society is to prey on your elderly. That is the worst thing you can do. And here's a man of God. And again, all of these prosperity preachers, the day of reckoning is coming, because when people are working their asses off and still aren't making it, they're going to start busting in these churches and just start living in the churches, because again, it just doesn't make sense that you're throwing this message out and it doesn't work. It economically, it doesn't work, and it doesn't make sense. But Mr. Whitehead had been in prison previously for scamming and doing things of other things. And to me, what he learned in his first stint in prison was how to scam in a legal profession. And again, I'm a Catholic, and I'm not downing any other religion and things, but show me in the Baptist church, the Methodist church, any of these Pentecostal churches or whatever, these black churches, where the pastor was making millions of dollars, and then he got a call from God that said, give all of that up and come serve me. I want you to go into this little town and minister there. Doesn't exist. In the black churches, what you see is, I used to be a drug dealer. I used to be a pimp. I used to be a burglar. All of these vices, and all these people did was they went to the prisons, became super predators, super prisoners, and they learned, hey, I'm really good at speaking. I'm really good at doing this. And they've turned what was illegal in the street and they brought it to the pulpit. And a lot of these guys profit off that. But guess who they profit off more so than anybody else? The women. The women. That's who, hey, I'm looking good, whatever. The women trying to get with me. The big hat gang is out there in the front and stuff like that. It's been going on for years because, like I said, it's very hard to scam men. It's very hard to do that because, like I said, I like a good example. I like a lot of stuff of what Dr. Umar is saying, right? Sounds good, but he's a scammer. In my opinion, he's a scammer. That's my opinion, not Demetra. This is my opinion. He is nothing but a con artist because there's no substance behind what he's saying. A school does not take 10 years to build. But again, here we are. Whatever his excuses are, his excuses. But I'm not donating. So again, Whitehead has a lot of issues. He's facing 45 years in prison. 45 years. Now the question is, what's his wife going to do? What's his family going to do? I know I talk about the women a lot, ladies, but if you guys really listen to me, I put a lot of onus on the men. This man has a family and has put himself in a position where he cannot provide for his family. Who's going to do it? Oh, that's right, me, the taxpayer, possibly.
Yeah, and as far as women, getting with men and they be lying to them, are we mad at the woman being lied to, or are we mad at the liar? You know what I'm saying? We cannot not put emphasis on the liar. If the liar wasn't lying in the first place, then the woman wouldn't have to worry about being lied to. So I think,
true, but it's the nature of. It's the nature of. It's just how it goes. I'm not saying it's right. It's just the nature
but I know a lot of men is not their nature. They would vehemently disagree with you that that's the nature of a man to lie.
No, I'm not saying it's a nature of a man to lie. I'm saying to get what we want. It's just like women. It's not their nature to lie, but that ain't your hair. That's not your eyelashes. That's not your butt. Would that be considered a lie? No, it's not. But so that's what I'm saying. We know the difference.
Yeah, and hair and nails ain't harm nobody.
No, exactly. And like I said, if I got to tell you I'm this to sleep with you, that really doesn't hurt nobody. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's right.
It's lying. It's
lying. It doesn't mean it's right. But again, lying. It's lying.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna be mad at the liar or the one that's being lied to. You know what I'm saying? Without the lie, then the person can be lied to. It's a simple form. It's a simple line of logic. But nevertheless,
on both sides. On both sides.
No, it starts with the liar first.
On both sides. So if a woman's got hair that's not hers, that's a lie.
Okay, but that's apples and oranges too. Because if the woman is, who is that hurting? Who is that hurting? If I got hair that's not mine, is that hurting me or is it hurting you?
No. Again, it depends how you look at it. As a man, I say it's a lie. Period. Now you're saying a lie was lying. I agree with that too.
Okay, but let me ask you this: did you ask her if it was her hair and she told you yes?
Yes.
Okay, I doubt it, but that's a lie. If she lied, if she says no, this is my hair, then yeah. But then the other thing is that really your business?
Again, I'm not here to disagree with you. You're coming from a woman's perspective. I'm telling you it from a man's perspective. We're saying this is false. You're saying it's false. But it's the nature of people, how we interact.
I wrote it down because you were saying like women being lied to, blah, blah, blah. So it came to my mind that she wouldn't have to worry about deciphering whether he's telling the truth or not if he would just tell the truth.
Right. It's the nature of human beings. That's the game we play with each other.
Some people, because I'm not want to be rolling around here lying to get what I need. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and if it can't get it,
that is a BBL. I've seen it myself. That is a damn BBL. That ain't natural. That's a BBL.
Nah, all natural. Okay. But yeah, like you said with the black church as well too. Now, come on, now them Catholics, they done been
a lot of problems.
Right. So I think the church is problematic in and of itself. Donovan, I really think the issue is too, church is not what it was. And then again, maybe it was, you know. And I would think if when you add social media into a lot of stuff, I think it's amplified more, because I remember when I was going to church, it was a little small church. Parsonage was next door. The parsonage is where the pastor and his family would live, something humble. Nowadays, the pastor don't even live he live in New Jersey some damn where, the church is in Brooklyn, you
Yeah,
know.
he's flying in to the church on the weekends.
Yeah, you know, you got pastors who doing that kind of stuff. You can't get next to them because they got an armor bearer. Who has an armor bearer? Who has an armor bearer? What do you need with him? Why did you talk to him? My husband or my wife? Okay, we got to make an appointment with the armor bearer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't even talk to the damn pastor no more. And the other problem is too, Lamor Whitehead was able to do what he was doing because of the parishioners in the church. He couldn't have done what he was doing if they actually knew the word. It says, "Study to show thyself approved, rightfully dividing the word of truth." You know, a workman unto God. But they don't do that. Most people, even nowadays, most pastors don't even open the Bible. They just up there, wow, don't I look good in this Gucci watch? Yes, Lord, I want to thank you. You know, whatever the case, it is like, why you thanking God? We don't want to, raise this money so you can build you know what I'm saying? Did they always, we talk about this other, always got a building fund offering, but if you would stop buying $1 million worth of jewelry. And it don't even sound like the people in this church have money all like that. So there's blame on the pastor. I'm not saying because as the Bible says, you will be held to account more than anybody because you know better, right? You're leading the flock. You will get your tap more than anybody else. But the other thing is, you churchgoers are sitting in there. You see this Negro riding up to church with a Rolls Royce, and y'all done caught the damn subway to church, and his wife got on 11 types of wigs all every Sunday, and they both getting stuff. See, for me, when I'd heard my pastor and his wife got stuck up for $1 million worth of jewelry on their body that y'all had on in church, on that I'd have left. I'd be like, because how in the are you wearing that much jewelry, and then you're gonna have the black ass nerve to raise 11 offerings this Sunday while you walk around sparkling and shining like Rihanna? You know what I mean? So that's problematic that you as a parishioner would sit in the church, and you know your pastor, he got on Fendi suits and he's sitting up there spinning around. Him and his wife, oh, don't look at my baby, don't she look good today? You know, y'all sit up there watching him talk like that. Y'all didn't find that to be problematic. Now listen, it also says in the Bible that the pastor should have nice things. Y'all should do nice things for the pastor because they are bringing forth the gospel. They are doing good things, right? But that's for pastors who are doing the work, not for a person to put bishop in front of his name and that he should be running. Y'all know how much some of that stuff costs? That's some of those suits, and I look like $3, $4, $5, $6,000 for a suit with the double G's and the double F's and the all that on there. Y'all paying for it. So who do you really have to blame? He couldn't have did that without the people.
Right. And you think about it. Okay, he's spending this money fruitlessly. And again, in churches, pastors should never be involved with the finances. The church should be run like a business. The pastor should get a salary, and that's it. You go out there and do your job. We'll worry about keeping the lights on and all that other stuff, in the church board, whatever. But it's funny that there's a parallel here to how he just spends money the way he wants to spend it. Nobody's questioning all this other stuff and how he lives. And even though you're all in this poor, and his church is in a poor ghetto neighborhood, but he's living out in New Jersey in a mansion, whatever the deal was. But recently, real quick, the Tiffany Henyard, the super mayor of Dalton that everybody keeps talking about right now. Did you hear the allegations in regards to the trip that she took to Las Vegas of a sexual assault that took place while she was there by a member of the council, which is the trustees? And it's speculated, if you guys have been looking, there's only three male trustees of the city of Dalton. And I believe only one trustee went on this alleged trip that this assault actually happened, and it's verified by the town credit cards that were charged in the hotel rooms. So the city of Dalton, and how Black people just spend money. You could be a mayor, a leader, a pastor is a leader, was a leader in our community. Now I look down like, man, you're no better than the pimp on the corner. But the point is, we let these people do what they do, and we just sit there and we just wonder why. This is why I know We are of African descent because what is going on here is no different than what you see in those African countries and how the Africans do what they do to their own people there. It's sad but true. It's sad but true.
Yeah, and I've heard people say, "Oh, well, the white people do it. Yeah, they do it. It's their system. The system is gonna benefit them. They can bilk the people out of a bunch of money and get a big time trial and get found not guilty and all that. Your black ass, however, shan't not do that. You cannot do that. Okay, if you have not known, you are a negress in America. That does not benefit from the laws of the white man. The white man has made the system to benefit him and not you. Okay, so for somebody like a Tiffany Henry or anybody for that matter, think because you black, I should be able to break laws. I'm black. I should be able to just get away with it in peace. Why y'all on me for?
Y'all black. Y'all black. Y'all should be ashamed beating on a black woman in power.
Yeah, I mean, you're not ashamed for bilking the people of 20,000 people, but predominantly black town, 92% black. You're not ashamed of doing that, intimidation and, hurting people's pockets because they won't donate to you. They already told you they don't want you in office. They tried to recall you, but yeah, you're going to force it to be that. And she's just a liar. But the other part of that for us is we keep people like that in office too long. Well, she said it wasn't her. Oh yeah, she do got a point. Us black people need to stick together. Yeah, we need to stick together and get your ass up out of there. That's what it needs to be. Okay, don't try to use the black card to do devious stuff to people. Those are the people that you see. This is how a lot of politicians get it backwards though. They go to office. You go to office, you're supposed to go to serve, not to be of service. She got all these bodyguards and acting like Nino Brown and all this other stuff. She acting like the town is there for her. It's like, lady.
Wait a minute, no. Her name is not on anything. See, and then she deflects when she never answers a question. Again, accountability in our community. It is hard to come by. Accountability is very hard to come by. More so with women, but in men too. It's hard to come by in our community.
Well, she just been lying and getting away with it. Not what they say, the alphabet boys is on her bumper. The alphabet boys is on the bumper now. So it's like you all that. Open your mouth and lie and say you wasn't in Vegas. Open your mouth and lie and say it wasn't your credit card. Do it because they want you to lie and say it wasn't you. So when they rope you up on trial, then they can say, "Oh, Miss Henry, was this you saying that you didn't do this?" Well, here's the statement we got here. And matter of fact, we got the surveillance from the hotel. And matter of fact, we don't see any records on your personal credit card statements that you did any swiping. In fact, we see it all here on the city's credit card. So again, do you want to tell us how you didn't do any of these things?
Right, and the funny thing is, for those that don't know, whenever she says I'm not on the credit card, that have nothing to do with the credit cards, is because when she was first became the mayor in the first couple of months, whatever, she wrote a check for over $500,000 to a contractor that wasn't approved by the board. And what happened was they removed her. Remember, she's young. I don't know why 30 something is young, but they removed her from of authorizing checks, but she's gone around that and done other things to make that happen.
Well, what do we know about what contractors though? Well, the same thing with Kwame Kilpatrick. Why did he get in trouble? Because he was contracting to his daddy, his homies. Now tell me something. If I give you a $500,000 contract, you don't think I'm expecting you to give me some of that back?
Exactly. I mean, we learn from the white man, but we don't learn to be better at it. If you're going to steal money, you're supposed to improve it and do it better, so you don't get caught in the same way.
Yeah.
But the funny thing with her and what's going on there in Dalton, it's really sad because she doesn't want to shut up. Basically, she doesn't want to shut up. When you are in a situation like that, go underground and be quiet. Her right-hand man, who's the city administrator, he recently took himself off as the main person on the charity. They put somebody else on there.
Oh no, homie, it's too late.
Yeah, it's already been seen. And then if you look at some of the trustees that are in Tiffany Henry's camp, a lot of them have family members that work for the city. This thing goes deep. I mean, it's
potism.
Yeah. You talk about racketeering and stuff like this. This is a predominant thing when it comes to racketeering. Now, that's the city. She hasn't been holding board meetings for the township.
The way she getting $250,000.
Right. And guess who that affects? The white folk.
All three of them. And it's going to be the three white people in Dalton. that's gonna have her hemmed up.
Right, right. That
We
township
haven't
is
been
going.
getting our water.
Exactly. She's trying to raise taxes, even though they rejected it in the referendum. She put it back on the referendum. And again, it's really sad, people. And I'm going to say this before we get out of here. It's so sad that I can tell you everything that's going on in another city, but a lot of you people can't tell me who your council member or your alderman or your trustee is in your city, but you can tell me everything that's going on in this situation. And that is a problem within our community.
It's the problem, but I think too, because I thought about this. I'm not really too sure on. I know that where I live, it's a different municipality, so it's not. The Houston mayor is not my mayor; it's a different mayor. Um, and I thought about that the other day. Now, of course, when I was back home, I was really involved, but here there's still a lot of acclamation going on. But I thought too, a
Well,
lot
you're
of people.
holding on to your California stuff, so why are you investing in something that you're not going to stay?
That's kind of part of it too. And the other thing is, a lot of people probably aren't as involved in their city councils because maybe their city councils are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Most time people go to a city council is like, oh hell no, because that's what it was for you. You saw started when you got back from the military. You saw the corruption and you got involved. Most people, if their city council is doing what they're supposed to do, the streets are smooth, no potholes, the water's flowing well, and it's not a whole bunch of BS. And most people like, all right, I'm with it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be involved civically, but most people learn about what's going on maybe in somebody else's city or something because it's a lot of corruption going on and it gets national attention. So I thought I was really thinking about that the other day. Like I should probably be a little bit more involved here, but you know, it's everything seems to be all right.
Well, in your little municipality, but we know Houston. Oh Lord,
One time
Houston.
I was over there with him.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
happened in the fifth and the third ward, and
yeah,
the dogs running all over the place, and the potholes, and oh yeah, I'd be like, listen,
yeah,
sucker.
yeah. And the good thing is, people, and I'm going to tell you guys this: there's no excuse for you not to be involved in what's going on with your city. And the reason why I say this is, it isn't like the days of old where you actually had to show up and get the handout to know what's going on. You could use your smartphone at lunch. You can go and do playbacks of the city council meeting, the planning commission, whatever. You can send emails that become public records of your city to get it. And it has to go into the public record. They even have city apps, depending on what city you have, where you can talk to your councilman or whatever resources you need directly to get the things done. If there's usually in a lot of cities, with your badass kids, there's a graffiti hotline where you call, and within 24 to 34 hours, the graffiti's removed. But no, we see the graffiti on the side of the wall, and we just, oh well, trash in the street.
All
Oh
right,
well,
to see it.
yeah, yeah. But the sad thing is, you damn well know it's your children doing all that bullshit. That's the problem.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot going on there. But just to kind of sum it up, I mean, Draya Michelle, you're a horrible, horrible person. I don't care what nobody says. I don't believe in a
But you're
man
fine.
doing it exactly, and that's why a lot of dudes, got babies by her or whatever the case is. You're a horrible person. You should know better. That's a kid essentially. Yeah, he's an adult chronologically, but he's a kid in the larger scheme of things. You have a little bit more life experience than he does, and you took advantage of that kid. Because as I said, if it was Jalen Green working at Amazon or some other warehouse, Walmart, you wouldn't.
I'm a little bit older than her. She wouldn't even give me the time of day, and I'm a veteran. She
Right,
wouldn't even give me the time of day.
right. But because it was Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets, of course, she let him put a baby all up and through her. So yeah, she's a horrible person, but I also say parents. And he has a mom and a dad as a stepfather. He has so it sounds like maybe a stepfather adopted him. He's got a stepfather's name. Don't try to teach your children the ways of life when they get $1 million contract. Teach them when they come out the cradle, or in the cradle. Teach them about life then, because by then they didn't got some old Hellcat like Draya Michelle and got a hold of him, and now she and the family way finna get that for all his riches. She gonna give him his whole ideology of women will be ruined. For just dealing with her, because she gonna take him through the stuff. I'm sure there was probably some people like, man, you don't think she a little too old for you? Nah, she good. She.
Well, Demetra, think about this. Let's say they get married, which ain't going to happen, but let's say they did. or she's involved in the family, it doesn't matter. What kind of conversation can you have with the grandmother of your child? And you're the same age, if not older. Dredd could be older than his mom.
Yeah, but the other thing is too, it's the same conversation you old triple OGs be trying to have with these city girls, as my daughter would say, young, hot, and turnt. Y'all trying to have these conversations with these women that are significantly younger than you, and when you can't talk about the time of day, then y'all try to demonize each other. But it's like the relationship y'all supposed to have. Is she supposed to open something for you, and you supposed to open your wallet? That's the transactional relationship you have. Now you can't be no broke, sucker trying to get with a young, hot and turned girl and think all she wants is to smell Bengay and Boo Boo. And that's not
Right,
how it
Old
works.
Spice. Yeah, no, it's transactional. Again, I agree with you. When you're an older guy and you're dealing with these younger chicks, you better believe it's a transactional relationship, and it isn't like it was back in the day. So it's transactional.
I just love, that bald spot that just does something to me. Right. Anyway, as far as Bishop Lamor Whitehead, I'm going to say this to you. Let me think twice, because there, before the grace of God, there go I. I always have to say that. I do 42 laws on my yacht. I'm starting to do that. And I try not to cause no harm to people. But I'm going to say, Bishop Lamor Whitehead, when and if you drop the soap and you see somebody coming up behind you, you better say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Or I rebuke you in the name of Gucci, because that's who you worshiped. Anyway, probably said too much. I'll ask for forgiveness once we get up off of here. Matter of fact, let me ask for it now in case lightning strikes. Forgive me, Lord. Anyway, we're going to see y'all tonight at 5 p.m. ish Central Time, where we're going to talk about something that was sent to me, and I thought it was very interesting. Of course, we're going to be in the vein of politics because it's political season, and you got everybody and their mama from the Democratic plantation trying to keep you on there. So we're going to do our best to enlighten you. Whether you want to stay or go, you're right, obviously, but we just want to give you a little bit more information. Okay? So anyway, we'll be back. See y'all. Of course, if y'all want to donate to the channel, there's many ways to do that. In the meantime, see y'all later. Peace.